begin by thanking everybody for coming to this reception. We're a small group, but I think that's appropriate because part of what we're going to talk about is the meeting of persons as persons, in some cases in small groups. But I wanted to start by extending my greetings. My name is Renée Levcovitch-McHale, and I teach in the Christianity and Culture program here at St. Michael's College. And I have the greetings from a couple folks who would like to be with us, but were unable to join us. The first regrets that we have are from President David Mulroney, and he regretted that he couldn't join us here today. As many of you know, President Mulroney has just taken office, has been president of the University of St. Michael's College now for, I guess, 2.5 months. He has a keen interest in dialogue. He has a great appreciation for the work of our students in research and publication. He was one of the first people to see the journal that includes David's essay that we'll be honoring tonight. He was extremely excited about it. And also, as it turns out, he comes to us from the Foreign Service. He was a former ambassador to China. And so he knows Renée Levcovitch, who created this event by creating the award through the Foreign Service. Because she worked most of her career there as well. So it turns out that they know each other and they go way back. And so he wanted to extend his greetings not only because of his interest in the initiatives around Christian-Jewish dialogue at the university, but also because Levcovitch, who we're honoring with her parents' name, is a friend, a colleague, somebody that he knows from his own life. And then also I extend greetings from Renée Levcovitch herself. She lives in Ottawa now. She wasn't able to join us this week. We went back and forth around dates. So she was, however, able to be at the university last week. And she had a chance to meet David and to congratulate him. And also to meet with Jessica and Connie and myself. And we had quite a lovely lunch. And it occurred to me, and I should say that she's present to us in a couple ways. One is that she wished us the best for this reception, and again, felt like she participated in it by meeting with us before it. But she's also with us because we're actually recording the event, so she'll have a chance to see and hear what we're talking about today. But at the time when we were sitting with lunch with Renée, I realized something. She of course knew Jessica she met with her last year at the same event. She and I had met on several occasions. She knew Katie as well, who was also at lunch with us from last year. But she met David for the first time, and I was very struck that she kept asking for his story. She kept saying, "What is your story? What is your story?" And I realized something about Renée, who's sort of the person who's brought us together, and that Renée is somebody who is relentless about learning people's stories, relentless in seeking to know who they are through the life that they've lived. She initiated the Gershon and Roza Lewkowicz Award to honor her parents' story, her parents who were Holocaust survivors, but also to honor the story of the Catholic Church after the Second Vatican Council. These 50 years in which the Church has emerged as one of the leaders in dialogue, and in particular, re-understanding and re-engaging its relationship and its understanding of its relationship with the Jewish people. And that's been 50 years this year, and in fact there's an event celebrating the 50-year anniversary coming up on October 8th, and we'll hear a little bit more about that event as well as dialogue in the city of Toronto. But most importantly, I think she really initiated the award as a way to encourage persons to share in one another's stories, and by their stories to be known by one another. And so tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to share some stories. Stories of Jewish-Christian dialogue in the city of Toronto. Stories of encounter in Jerusalem through the Jerusalem program. Stories of research and study in the area of Jewish-Christian relations. And all of this will then become part of our story, the story of the University of St. Michael's College as one place where dialogue has happened and continues to happen now. But because we're interested in stories, I thought I'd start with two stories. And both these stories are about Catholic popes visiting the United States. Many of you know that I'm an expat. I'm from the U.S., so I'm actually wearing a Liberty Bell tie in honor of the Pope's visit right now to the United States. This morning, Pope Francis addressed Congress. And in his address to Congress, he invoked the image of Thomas Merton. And Thomas Merton as somebody who cared deeply about peace and peace achieved through dialogue. Now, I think that when the Pope referred to Merton, he was thinking mainly about the peace between nations. But in fact, Merton was also a leader in interreligious dialogue as well. But as I was listening to him talk, it occurred to me, I was reminded of another story on April 18th, 2008, the last time a Pope visited the United States. This was Pope Benedict XVI. And he made history, as Pope Francis made history today by addressing Congress. Benedict XVI made history by visiting the Park East Synagogue in Manhattan. He came bearing a gift, a replica of a medieval Jewish manuscript from the Vatican Library. He received gifts in return, and he offered words of joy, respect, and peace on the occasion of Pesach, Passover. And as I was thinking about the story of Benedict, I was thinking about Pope Francis, and I was kind of disappointed in a way, right? Because Francis isn't visiting a synagogue on this visit. He's true to form. He's visiting a homeless shelter, an inner-city school, a correctional facility. There is kind of an interreligious gathering at Ground Zero that he'll be attending. So I was feeling kind of bad about this, but then I realized that there's something really very interesting, different that happened when he visited the U.S. And this happened yesterday. He addressed the U.S. bishops. And he began his address to the U.S. bishops, people who are in charge of the Catholic Church in the United States, with these words. He said, "First of all, I wish to send a greeting to the Jewish community, our Jewish brothers and sisters, who today are celebrating Yom Kippur. May the Lord bless them with peace and help them to advance on the path of holiness. As we heard today in his word, you shall be holy, for I am holy." And I was thinking of these two stories, the story of Benedict visiting a synagogue in Manhattan, and the story of Francis beginning his address to the Catholic bishops with this welcome, this greeting to the Jewish community on the occasion of Yom Kippur. And it occurred to me that this, I think, is where the Catholic Church is right now, in its encounter with, in its dialogue with the Jewish community. That is, I think that Catholics recognize that this is a dialogue that requires going out and meeting, face-to-face encounter and conversation. But it's also become internal to who we are as Catholics. So a Catholic bishop talking to other Catholic bishops will begin his discussion in this very Catholic context. You can't get much more insider than that, by invoking a greeting to the Jewish community. So this dialogue is something that we participate in by going out, but this dialogue has changed who we are in and of ourselves as well, as Christians and as Catholics. So I thank everybody again for coming. Welcome. We're going to hear again these different stories throughout the night.